Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to another album review. And as you've seen, Discogs randomly threw up Rage by T'Pau. So Rage is T'Pau's second album. Their debut, Bridge of Spies, was a huge success, helped largely by the number one hit single, China in Your Hand. It became an anthem. Their difficult second album is Rage, released in 1988. It reached number 4 in the UK chart, so a good showing, but it didn't have the continued success that Bridge of Spies had. It was released in the UK in 1988, as I say, and that is what I'm reviewing today, the 1988 UK release. In 1989, it was remixed for a US release. It was given a harder, rockier edge. It then wasn't actually released in the US, but it was released in Canada, so that version is now known as the Canadian mix, or the Canadian version. But it is, as I say, the UK release I am reviewing here. I will be showing you my copies in a moment. The album was produced by Roy Thomas Baker, as was the debut album. Probably best known for his work with Queen, most notably Bohemian Rhapsody, but many other albums and tracks and many other artists as well. Okay, so I have two copies of this album. The first one I owned is a CD version in this box set. So this is T'Pau, the Virgin Anthology, signed by Carol Decker and Ronnie Rogers, singer and guitarist and the two songwriters and the creators, the founders of T'Pau. So T'Pau I liked back in the mid-80s, 86, mainly because I was madly in love with this woman. I had a big poster of her that covered my German textbook. I didn't concentrate much in German. I bought China in Your Hand, the single, which I absolutely loved. My sister's friend taped the album for me onto a cassette, and I was totally thrown by it because the version of China in Your Hand on there is a lot longer than the single release, and I can never quite grasp the differences. So it was an album that I didn't really visit much. Then in the mid-2010s, they released a box set of Bridge of Spies with live stuff, DVD, all sorts, similar format to this, and I bought that. I'd already bought, actually, a DVD and CD set directly from T'Pau's website, largely because it was signed, but was full of demos and the story of their early career, which is very interesting. But yeah, I bought the Bridge of Spies release, and then in 2017 they released this, and this is sort of everything else from when they were on Virgin. So it's got the singles, because they didn't want to put Bridge of Spies on here again, but it's got all the singles releasing when they were on Virgin, so single edits and things like that, remixes, rarities and demos, and then the album Rage plus its B-sides, and then their third album The Promise plus its B-sides. Nice release. Oops, that's Rage, caught in between my knees. Silly clips that don't fit on properly. That's got it, that's better. And then a nice booklet featuring an interview with Carol and Ronnie, and then all the credits and lots of nice pictures and lyrics, etc. And then I picked up the vinyl version from Heathen Chemistry in Fareham for £3.99, less discount, probably £3 then. So this is on Virgin, as I mentioned. Here's the vinyl. Siren, actually, which is part of the Virgin Music Group. And it comes with a lyric inner. So yes, so this is the version I have reviewed. I listened to the vinyl. However, the CD release of the album had an extra track from the vinyl and cassette, the track This Girl at the end. So I have listened to that off the CD, and I will give two totals, a total for the 10-track album and a total for the 11-track album. Without any further ado, let's get into reviewing T'Pau's second album, Rage. In the arms of love. So track 1 is Arms of Love. This is an upbeat pop rock song. Solid vocals, nice guitar solo on it, driving drums, fast paced, very typical T'Pau song. Lyrically, it's about looking after somebody who's broken hearted, possibly an ex, possibly someone she's trying to get together with. It's a bit ambiguous. But yeah, it's a good, solid track. Nothing outstanding, but nothing terrible. It's a 7 out of 10. Track 2 is Only the Lonely, which was the third single from the album. It reached number 28 in a remixed form. It starts off slowly and then it builds up during the song, and then it goes slow again and builds again, and so on and so forth. It's pretty much a typical rock ballad, but lyrically it's about being single and lonely rather than it being a love song, which gives it a nice extra twist and sort of elevates it slightly. Without that lyrical twist, it would probably be a 6, but because of the subject matter and the way it's done lyrically, as I say, 7 out of 10 for Only the Lonely. So track 3 is Running Away, and for some reason this is the only track that on the lyric sheet has got the running time next to it. Don't know why. Whether it's because it's got running in the title, but I don't really see if that is meant to be a bit of a joke. It doesn't really work. It's driving rock track, very dominant bass. There's a guitar riff throughout it that's very reminiscent of ZZ Top in the 80s, pretty much very similar to Legs. It's about someone not facing up to their responsibilities. If things get tough, you can't just keep running away. It's a good, solid rock song again. Again, pretty typical T'Pau. Again, 7 out of 10. Between the lines, behind the smile. So track 4 is Between the Lines, and this track was recorded later. It's the only track not produced by Roy Thomas Baker. It's produced by one of the producers, is Tim Burgess, but I don't think it's the Tim Burgess. He would have been far too young, I'm pretty certain, and on Wikipedia his name's not hot linked, so I'm pretty certain it's not the Charlatans Tim Burgess. But yes, this was originally recorded, as I say, after the album and was going to be a B-side, but they liked it so much they put it on the album. It's another slower track. The guitar on it is vaguely U2-ish, except it hasn't got the infinite echo on it, but it's the picked style. You know, where rather than the chords being strummed, the strings are individually picked. Gave me a U2 vibe. Lyrically, it's about a friend who she's in love with, but he doesn't feel the same way, and he's telling her about the girl he's in love with, and the song is sort of her feelings inside and how she's putting on a brave face, but between the lines she's really upset and she hopes she dies, not her, but hopes this other girl dies, etc. Musically, it's again pretty typical, apart from this guitar style on it. But the way most of his T'Pau songs start off at a pace, then build up in the chorus, whether it goes from faster, even faster, or quiet to shoutier, it's got that sort of dynamic change. And also most of them the chorus gets repeated a fair bit towards the end. So yeah, musically it's more of the same, but lyrically it's really strong. So again, it takes it from probably a 6 to another 7. Track 5, the last track on side 1, is Road to Our Dream. This was the second single from the album. It only reached number 42. It's a pretty formulaic AOR, slow verse, faster chorus track. Lyrically, it's the metaphor that life is a road, life is a journey. Love is a road, love is a journey, either way you want to look at it. You know, it has bumps along the way, but we can follow the road to our dream. It's pretty, as I say, formulaic. It doesn't do much for me. I think it could quite easily have been a 5, but Carol's voice is so good that I've got to give it a 6. So we start side 2 with the track Island, Island. Starts with a orchestral sounding synth melody, little piece of music basically, but then that's interrupted by a faster electronic sort of new wavy type beat almost, but with the power rock guitar over the top. It's got the verses are sort of spoken sung, and then during the chorus, well, the pre-chorus and the chorus, Carol sings it, but you've also got the spoken lyrics going on in the background as well, which gives it this very interesting dynamic. Lyrically, it's sort of no man is an island. She's after this guy. She's trying to break down his defences, but he's very standoffish. Again, as I say, these spoken vocals really give it the edge, but as it goes on, it gets into the repeaty, chorusy type style, and that just sort of knocks it down. So it was edging towards an 8, but it's yet another 7, unfortunately. Track 7 is Heaven, and this starts with a slow piano backed opening. Lyrically, it's she's cheated on a guy. It's, you know, sounds like it's just sort of a one night stand. He was away. He wasn't, you know, her normal guy wasn't there for whatever reason, whether they temporarily split or whether he was away, you know, on business or anything like that. She was lonely. She slept with this guy. He found out about it. They've broken up. She really regrets it. She's biggest mistake of her life. She wants him back, etc. It's interesting, you know, lyrically throughout this album, they're not the typical subjects for songs, you know, tends to be just, you know, most songs are just, you know, I love you, will you love me? Or I love you, you love me. And that's about it. Whereas, you know, lyrically, you know, we're talking about, you know, her cheating on people, her being, you know, in love with her best friend, you know, things like that. It makes nice change, I find, anyway. But yes, musically, as I say, it's slow, piano backed, but then it goes into yet another big chorus, heavy drums. If it wasn't for the good lyrics, again, probably would be a 6, but lyrically it takes it up to a 7. Track 8 is Taking Time Out. This is a faster pop rock song. I find it very reminiscent of the song Sex Talk from their debut album, which was a single. You know, really, I could almost sing Sex Talk to the melody of this track. Lyrically, do what you want to do, be what you want to be. You know, take this moment to live your dreams. It's sort of a taking time outside of it. Again, it's a good, fun pop rock song, nothing spectacular, very typical to Pow, another 7 out of 10. Track 9 is Secret Garden, which was the hit off of this, although it only reached number 18. Lyrically, the theme of it is sort of be who you want to be, particularly with your sexuality, and because of that it's become a bit of a gay anthem. But yeah, it's another fast pop rock song, really catchy chorus, driving beat and bass line. It's just something about it was just that little bit better than the similar songs. I think it's probably the catchiness of the chorus that elevates it, but it's easily the best song on the album, and I've given it 9 out of 10.
Keep looking right behind.
Track 10, and this is the closing track on the vinyl version, is Time Will Tell. Another pounding beat. It's got a keyboard line going through it. It's quite low in the mix, certainly on vinyl, but it really sounds like Genesis to me. It's now gone out of my head. I've not long listened to this, but it's now gone out of my head. But I could sort of recognise it as a particular Genesis riff. I thought, I recognise that riff. Who is it? Oh yeah, it's Genesis. But as I say, it's gone out of my head which track it was. Proggy Genesis, not later Genesis. Lyrically, it's unclear whether she's talking about a friend or a lover, or somebody who was a friend and could have been a lover, but it's how they've changed over time and shown their true colours, and so she's fallen out with them. So again, it's a nice, atypical subject matter for a song. Nice guitar solo on it. Yeah, a bit better than most of the other tracks, so I've given it 8 out of 10. So overall, the vinyl version and the cassette version scores 72 out of 100, so 72%. The bonus track that was on the CD, and then it was the B-side to Secret Garden, is This Girl. It's the hook is "This girl's not for sale." It's basically just, you can't buy my love. It's slightly different from the rest of the album. Really nice horns on it. It's fast pace. It's got a bit of a 60s soul vibe, but still very much with the T'Pau sound. It's an interesting mix, but it's a strong song. It's a shame there wasn't room for it on the vinyl, but the CD listeners back in the day had an added bonus there. Right at the end, it collapses into atonal. They probably just told the horn players, play what you want. And it's just, some of them will sound like they're warming up. Some of them are playing little bits of melody, and it was all cacophonous all over each other, which is a nice ending. It's a strong track. I gave it 8 out of 10. So the 11-track version of the album gets 80 out of 110, or 73%. So doesn't really affect the score, only 1% different, but a good strong track to end it. So yeah, that is my review of Rage by T'Pau. It's definitely difficult second album syndrome. You have your whole life to write your first album, and then you've got a few months to write your second album when you've suddenly become a hit and you're touring around the world and you're on every pop TV show going. A lot of it gets very similar. As I say, they've got this formula, the dynamic change between the verses and the choruses, and then the repeated choruses at the end of the songs. But they're a band I still have a lot of time for, largely due to Carol Decker, and both physically, if you like, and her voice, which is great. A fairly strong album, as 72.3% is still a good score. Well worth the $3.99 I paid for a vinyl. and this is a decent box set as well. So that's it. As you possibly know, I use Discogs to just randomly choose which albums I review, so I don't know what I'll be reviewing next. But I hope you enjoyed this one and you're looking forward to the next one. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.